Welcome back everyone, this is another episode of Trainers Truths, and today I'm with someone very special to me, someone a little bit different from what you're used to seeing. It is my...
Auntie.
What was it? So before we dive in, I want to tell everyone just a little bit about yourself, give everyone a bit of background. I know you can get a little bit carried away right now, so take it easy.
I will do.
Key points, Auntie.
Yeah. I've been in training since I was 23 in 1988, a long time for you chaps, when they used to wear no training shoes at all, and I really did enjoy it. And so that is my journey basically. And what had happened in that journey was that I then became very ill in 2000.
You're talking to the camera, Auntie. You're talking to me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's alright.
I'm going to jump on, are we?
No, you're talking to me.
Yeah, no, what happened was that I was always used to walking everywhere. I used to go on walking holidays, mainly on my own, meeting different people, and I just like being outdoors. I like meeting people, I like chatting, I like getting out and about, going dancing, into soul music, dancing all night, and just generally living my life, you know.
So you know when you said that you used to do fitness when you were younger, what kind of things did you used to do fitness-wise? Like, what was in at the time? Because I know there was a lot of like trends and crazes at the time. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the high impact training of
like
aerobics without the proper shoes.
Like jumping and stuff?
Yeah, high impact circuit training. I used to use weights. I just found it enjoyable because not only did I go to the gym and do a lot of aerobics, I was sit there chatting to people and just enjoying people's company, you know. Unfortunately, with a high impact, because there wasn't a lot of education at the time, I'd done my knee in. My knee slipped in and out, so that was the start of the problems I was getting. I had to have a small operation in 1990 to pull the bone out because the bone had gone. But I still carried on doing circuit training, carried on and exercising, basically. So, you know, because I just found, for my mental health, that kept me going, and I enjoyed it, you know.
So a big thing as well is what I realise is when I speak to people from the older generation, it seems that like now in society, fitness. You look at me like I'm about to ask you the hardest question in the world.
No, just looking at you, listening.
Yeah. It seems like there's been a bit more of like a societal shift towards people actually looking after their fitness and their health at the time. And I think someone told me once when they were younger, it's like people go, "Oh, why are you doing that for?" And gym was almost seen as like a weird thing, where now it's almost seen as strange if you don't want to look after yourself. You almost not looked down on, but it is judged to an extent. So did you feel any of that? Like, did you feel any judgment when you were looking after yourself back then? Because gym wasn't as popular from what I understand.
I think I started doing it when it was just starting to get popular.
Yeah.
In the 70s and that, if you see the men's figures in the 70s, you know, you see the TV programme, you know, like a slab of bread, you know what I mean? And people are a bit more conscious of what they look like now. You know, I think that's come from America, to be honest with you.
Sure.
You know, that's, and like Eastern Europe and places like that is always part of their day, you know, is to exercise. But for me, you know, I just felt that it made me feel better by going to the gym, and especially doing aerobics, you know. I mean, I wasn't wearing the right shoes, but nobody knew that at the time.
Yeah, of course.
You know, we just got on with it.
Yeah, I definitely think that the more science has improved and the more things that are coming out about, you know, oh, this is how looking after your health can benefit you, this is how you can do this safer, I think naturally people are gravitating to that a lot more. But a question I want to ask you then is going through your fitness journey, because it's extensive, you know, and we'll touch on times where you've gone completely away from fitness and then obviously come back into it. What would you say has been your biggest struggle? And you can break this into however many parts, or you can look at this from a holistic, a huge view, and say the biggest struggle within my fitness journey was, and what is that for you? What do you think was the hardest and is the hardest thing?
I think for me, you know, just my body really, you know, my body breaking down on me, you know, having fibromyalgia to start off with, you know, having the clot in the lungs, stomach hemorrhage and fibromyalgia was a seismic shift for me, you know, because I then struggled to do the things that I wanted to do, which I took for granted, basically. You know, also I was my mum's carer as well, you know, with my brothers and that, you know, and sometimes care for yourself, you know. And so when these things come into play, when life takes over, you then, things that you used to do in your routine drops off, because I didn't have the energy levels to do it.
Yeah.
Because with fibromyalgia, you then get a lot of pain.
Yeah.
A lot of what do you call it? I was getting a lot of
brain fog.
Yeah, I still have. You know that. But a lot of pain, headaches. Like I said, and so when that started to take over, that's when exercise took a back seat, basically.
And I think it's interesting to touch on that, because I think sometimes people think, it's an A to B journey. It's, I'm just gonna get onto this. I'm just gonna gain a bit of muscle, lose a bit of fat, get a bit fitter. And often, what I find when I'm working with people is actually quite the opposite. It's all the things that happen outside of the gym actually limit, and not just gym. Like, fitness is a bit more than just the gym, but it's just a place where we think to ourselves that's where we're building and that's where we're improving. I often find that people's fitness journeys are affected by more non-fitness based things than fitness based things. It will be things like, in our case, you're having to look after your mum, having to look after my grandma, having to work X amount of jobs and time commitments, or going other places, energy. Okay, if I'm doing this, am I actually really eating? Am I taking care of myself? Or because I'm stressed because of this, am I sleeping? And because when I'm sleeping, then, like you say, brain fog, these things don't come as easily. Your routines are affected, your structures are affected, because they're effectively someone else's and they're not yours. So that's a big part of what I deal with.
You're right, and I think that's as well, like I said, I was doing 3 jobs and doing multiple things, and my choices weren't always that great. I was cans of beer, and that in account that comes in and out of my life, and that's something that I am trying to deal with. To me, on my journey, that you start making sometimes the wrong choices because you're not feeling great, and what's making you feel great is probably having a can of beer.
Everyone has their voices.
Do you know what I mean? And to me, that was my time to relax.
Yeah.
But what was happening was that my body shape was changing, and my body shape changed drastically for me because with the stomach hemorrhage and that bloating, and all of a sudden my body just changed literally overnight. And
just to be clear, in that time you wasn't training, was you?
I wasn't training then. No,
exactly
I wasn't training. And that's when my illnesses came into place. I mean, I think 1999, that transition from 1999 to 2000, that's when my health problems started to really, and so I just could not train. I wasn't well enough, and then I came back to Northampton, and then personal problems were happening, and of course, like I said, my body had changed, and and private, personal stuff was happening in my life. And you just sort of, that becomes the back burner, really. You just don't think about it anymore.
For sure.
You don't.
Yeah. So, we kind of talked about the fitness struggle in general, and I think what I'm going to do with this little segment here is I actually want to delve into what you'd perceive as your biggest struggle back then when you were at your fittest and you was training quite regularly to now, because if people don't know and if you haven't observed, you're actually on a fitness journey with Ben, one of my friends currently, and I'm guessing that, the struggles that you probably faced back then within your fitness journey are very different challenges to now, because you're almost 2 different people. So if we were to flash you back, we'll take you back to the past, probably a very long time ago now, isn't it?
Cast me mind back.
Yeah, I know. Open the ancient textbooks. What would you say back then, when you was younger, when you was training all the time, what would you perceive as potential problems that would have made potential struggles on the journey?
I don't think at that point I had any struggles at all, because I walked everywhere and I took a lot of things for granted. I couldn't, when somebody was unwell or they couldn't get up the stairs, you just thought to yourself, how can anybody ever be like that? And so all I'd done was go into my routine, do my aerobics, go to the gym, and really keeping motivated was a thing. Just keep going, because I actually didn't notice any change until people saw that. To me. I mean, when I went to the Soul Night, and they recognised that I really had lost, to me, and you don't notice the change because you're just doing something, and it was making you feel better, making you feel upbeat, and so I just got myself into that routine. And I found the things which I did find hard was, weights. I think what the motivation was just keep going. Pushing. I think pushing yourself. Because when you're feeling fit, you're feeling okay. For me, I just enjoyed just feeling okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And I never sort of pushed it any further. Obviously the problem with my knee that was niggling, but otherwise than that, just the joy of walking to the gym, doing the exercise and doing yoga. Meeting people, I don't really like doing weights as much. I don't like going to do gym. I like sort of aerobic type thing, And so, but that was I think the main thing was, I took my youth and my fitness for granted, really, to be fair.
Okay. And so then if we fast forward to the future now, what would you say are struggles within your fitness journey now then?
I think, and like you said, you mentioned Ben, and all the time was, when we started on this journey, for me to do what I want to do, I just wanted to be that person before I had the illnesses that I had.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get round my head that this is going to be a longer journey for me. When I spoke to Ben back in March, I just thought, all right, I'm just going to go back and go into my routine and things will start to slot in.
Yeah.
And I didn't take into account of my age. Of my fitness levels and stuff, so it took me a long time to adjust to the fact that I am not that person in 1999, because obviously then, I was a younger person.
Yeah, for sure.
And so what Ben had to do is just keep reminding me that I'm on a different journey now. I am not the same person, and I can still do my goals, still reach my goals. But it will take me a longer time, and it took me a long time to compute that I was not that person. I could never be that person again, and accept the person I am now. Yeah. And that was very hard for me. Like when I got on the scales and my weight had not reduced, although I was exercising, I found it very disappointing, disheartening. And I think it's very, I think having a personal trainer who keeps telling you, and keep you positive about your journey is important.
Yeah, I think it is. It's important to have someone sometimes to guide you through things and rationalise them. And even for me, like I have a coach right now, stepped on the scales earlier today, I was like, bloody hell, almost 4 kilos up. And then I jumped on a call with him, started to talk about what we're doing in relation to Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
And he was like, we're still going to get you under 90 kg, that's the aim. And I said, well, I've gone up to like 97.
Yeah.
I was at 93 before Christmas period. I blame you for that, by the way. Yeah, exactly. But it was just like, a lot of that's not going to be fat. Yeah. You're going to have loads of salt that's holding on to water. My sleep has obviously been all over the place. There's all these different things. And people have such a weird attachment to weight. Even myself knowing what I know, I sometimes fall into that little hole of thinking, if I get to my lowest weight, does that mean I'm going to be at my healthiest, or am I going to feel at my best? And that's not always the case. And it's even something that we've been on phone calls together, and I've said to you, this isn't about getting to your lowest weight currently. I said, enjoy every accolade that you're earning. It's like, I can get up the stairs using both legs now. I can actually get up off the ground. I can actually bend my knees when I'm trying to pick up things, so my lower back hurts a lot less. And it's remembering that those things are crucial. Those things are way more important than you getting down to your lower weight. And those things will always, they will happen when they need to happen, right?
Well, I was thinking, going back to that, like I said, I was thinking that if I lost the weight, then I can reduce my pain, I can reduce the problems I'm having. But I just, now I've realised that, with fibromyalgia, it doesn't matter about weight. Yeah. The pain will always, and obviously, the industry I was in, which was catering, you're working literally 12 hours without stopping. You know what I mean? You didn't get paid extra for it, and you're washing dishes, and it's going down your front. You're going out in that type of drive in a car, in a cold, and that had a problem with my joints. That's affected my limbs as it's done your mum. Yeah. You know what I mean? And having years and years of doing that, obviously looking after another person. Again. Yeah. So just sort of spreading yourself so thin, and not taking care of yourself, and then when you're starting your journey, your body has to now readjust to the fact that you're now taking care of
Yeah,
yourself,
sure.
or trying to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
But in my naivety, I just thought, I'll start in March. Come this year, I can achieve my goal of
Yeah,
jumping
for
out the
sure,
plane.
for sure.
But now I realise that, as like you've told me and Ben have told me, and I wasn't listening, like I never do, that this is a long, long journey for me.
It is, because you have to remember why, for the people watching or listening, this isn't something that's just happened over a few years, is it? This is almost like a 15-year health decline. Right?
Well, 23
or 20,
years.
well, 20, exactly that, so 23.
Yes.
So then to expect within, a year, 1/23 of what you've spent, coming away from the point that you should and want to be at, of course it's going to take longer than longer than a year. There's so much, I guess, damage to unpick, but there's almost a lot to relearn. There's a lot to teach. There's a lot to soak in. And I think at the same time, it's like you also have an older brain. You have, the receptiveness is there and the willingness is there. If I was to maybe bring Ben into your life 11 and a half, because that's 11 and a half is
still at school, isn't it?
11, yeah, probably, but 11 and a half is halfway through that 23-year health decline. Would you be in a position where you're able to accept that help? Would you be in a position that you were able to apply that help? And you probably wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't have been.
You probably wouldn't. So you can throw, as you are, you can throw everything that you can at this. And it doesn't matter how big or small that appears to someone else, it's significant to you. And that's what matters, is a lot of the time people are so focused on, well, I've seen this person drop X amount in this time, I've seen this person achieve these results in this time. But they're running an entire different race. They've got different equipment, they've got different running shoes, different stride pattern.
I think that when you listen, like you said, you listen to people and they go, I've been ever so stressed out, I've lost X amount of weight. I've had 23 years of stress. But you know what I mean? And I think for me as well, I think it's a little bit of vanity as well. You just want to get back to the person you were when you were in your 20s or 30, which is ridiculous now and hitting 60. But I think it is. But I just think that now you've got. I mean, I never really had that real space, did I? Really to achieve that, because I was doing 3 jobs and, like I said, looking after grandma, etc. And you just don't have the space. And all I literally could do was, because I worked from 6 in the morning to 11 at night. All you literally could do is just managed to get up the stairs, which was an effort in itself, and then and go to bed. Well, open a can of beer and then go to.
As I say, the focus with all of that really is being a better version of yourself now. And that's for everyone. Is like, it isn't trying to get back to where you was, because you're so different to where you were there. You have so many different issues, or life has changed in various different ways. And there's even times where I've worked with mums, parents. Oh, I just wanted to be like how I was when I was 19. Or they go, oh, I want to get back to this weight. And I say, well, what happened at that weight? Oh, well, that's when I was 19, I was at my smallest. I said, right. I said, you was 19, you didn't have a job, didn't have rent, didn't have bills, didn't have a child. I said, your body's changed.
Your fat burns
You've
quicker
changed.
as well.
Yes, that's all science that I don't want to get into right now.
But you see, generally, unless you're American, if you see, you see somebody who's 19 and somebody who's my age, 50, coming to 59, they're not all the same.
No,
I think in your head,
for sure. But our life changes so much. Like, you think when you're 19, you're probably a lot more active. You were going out dancing and stuff like that. I was going out, seeing all my friends. Everyone gets busier as you get older, so everyone stays in more. You naturally start disliking people a lot more. So you stay in more, and that's me as well. I stay in more. So whereas on the weekends I'd be out and about, maybe in the club until 3 o'clock, whatever. Do you know what I mean? All of your activity drops, and we eat more. We have money. We have money, so then we can go and take ourselves to different places.
I don't eat as much. I drink too much.
No, I'm talking like in general as to why people change from 19 to the age that they are. We get partners. Do you know what I mean? We go and do our priorities in life change. They change, and people don't realise that. It's like, it changes. So you're trying to be this 19-year-old, but you're not going to be able to change your life.
Your body's never going to be that.
You're not going to be able to change your life to match that. Because then that means that you give up all the responsibilities that you have and you go about your normal business.
I think with a lot of people, I think like I say, when I was 19, I think you're never going to reclaim that time because it was so totally different then. And I think people remember because they were happier in their minds. They were happier, like you said, they were freer. They didn't have the constraints of things, and they could just, well, not in our case, we always had money, but to me, you have that expectation of life. But now, to be fair with you, I'm just waiting to die now. But your life experience changed, and like you said, some people become very bitter. Because they've got older and they feel that life is just running, their time is running out, and I don't think that people realise that as long as you're breathing, there's always that expectation, there's always that, to me, a lot of people achieve things in their later life, and people, I think, I'm the same though, you think that, you're hitting late 50s going into 60s, you think, what's the point anymore, and people, that's when people start to sort of think, well, this is my lot, I might as well just give up.
Well, I think the thing is as well, when it comes to things like success, it's all relative, do you know what I mean? When you say, oh, someone succeeded in this or succeeded in this, why does it always have to be of this, earth-shattering magnitude? Success for you might be that you get healthy and fit enough that you can do this charity dive against all odds, because for you it's things to do with the lungs. Oh, I'm not too sure about this. Obviously the seizure medication as well. I'm not too sure about this. A huge, and I'd say an earth-shattering success for you is to be able to go against all the odds on that and do that.
Do the dive.
But then even if that doesn't happen because of the medical aspect of things, if you're going to be healthy or fit enough to do something that is huge, from someone who couldn't even go up and down the stairs. Another thing I want to ask you then is, we've kind of talked about, I guess, the harder parts of your journey. What would you say has been your success within your fitness journey?
I mean, but breathing for sure. When Ben showed me how to breathe and stuff, and when you show me and holding it, for 40 seconds, when we were doing it, in my head I thought we're just wasting our time here. That's what I just thought, And it's a very strange thing when you start, your body starts to respond to things which are happening. Because when I started climbing up the stairs, I live on the second floor and there's no lift, there's 4 flights up. I suddenly found that I could do it, because I remember your girlfriend hearing me breathing, getting up the stairs, and my lungs were just so constrained, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't get any, and now I can do it, quite relatively relaxed, I still struggle to go up the stairs, but, that is, and then it's an invisible thing, when I used to do my breathing, I still do it, and hold my breath for 40 seconds. Is it 40 seconds? It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
40 seconds.
It's around that.
And that has helped me a lot with my walking. I can walk around, because I don't even stop now. And when I was walking this morning, I thought I'm going to go around I'm not thinking of going around at the top, and perhaps go to the thingy bingo. And then walk down again. And
and you've done that, what you're thinking about.
I'm going to start doing that.
Nice.
I'm going to start doing that. My mind's saying to myself, I can do this now. Without, because before I was doing a little walk round the circle, because I live in a complex, and I had to stop for a bit, just get a breath and walk a bit. To me. But I must, say that's. With the health problems I have, sometimes it feels as if you're going backwards, but that is just the problem sometimes, which comes with the condition. That sometimes, you probably caught a bug or something, and you can't do as much as you can. But I just, that's part of the journey I'm on, and I used to see it as a failure if I couldn't do this, but when I walked around today, I thought, I'm going to do a bit more next time.
Well, I think you've also got to mention as well, and obviously I know it's from having conversations with you, but they don't, is, it's not always physical, sometimes actually very mental, and I remember you saying that, not always being comfortable walking, because obviously you have to use your sticks right now. And I think a big thing is, with watching you working with Ben, is how much better you've become at doing that, and then, at some point it's to hopefully take you away from those sticks so that you can do this, again, independently, because that's just how you have that ability to. A big part of what's maybe stopped you from walking up there before is confidence as well. And I guess the more that you're going, okay, I'm not out of breath as much. It is starting to feel a bit easier. That confidence mentally is allowing you to physically reach further, Because people under they understate the mental side of everything so much. We don't really think about it. We don't.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think because I also fell over, as you know, I'm trying to get to work and damage my knee and damage my spine, and sometimes, depending how I slept, that pain kicks in, and when that pain kicks in, that really is a struggle for me to get around, and so and it has a massive mental impact on you, because it reminds you of your shortcomings as such, and what you've got,
your vulnerabilities.
Your vulnerabilities. You sort of, because like you said, I think a lot of it, when I first started walking, and the pain, and sometimes if I slip on something or step wrongly, then this knee will start to really play up. And then you start to worry, how am I going to get back, and stuff like that. And you do feel very vulnerable, but I think you have to keep pushing yourself. You have to, and it is tough. Mentally it is very tough.
Yeah, and miles ahead in my fitness journey as to where you are, because we're addressing with various different things. It's those the turning points are where you do something that you knew you was going to struggle to do. Like quite recently, if some people have been checking out my content, I actually, a deadlift, you'll probably do this in like a million years from now. But for the longest time when I was younger, I always wanted to do 200 kilos. And I lifted that a few weeks ago. I did like this powerlifting thing, and I did my first 200 kilos. Yeah. And I was screaming out my lungs, because that's been a childhood goal for the longest time that I've been able to deadlift. And like I said, it puts you in a place where I did 195 and it slipped out my hands, and it was that that vulnerability. Oh no, the doubt of, can I do this? Can I do this? And then you have to almost go in there, and you have to be in those areas where you don't know what the outcome's going to be. You don't know where the outcome's going to be. But when you've done that, you feel, okay, what's next? And I'm saying to myself, I want to do 210, I want to do 220, I want to do this, I want to go forwards. That's the same with yourself, is, you have to reach sometimes into the uncomfortable, because it's all about making the uncomfortable comfortable. And then there's growth, because you've now transferred that, you've now, turned your ceiling into a floor almost, is how I look at things. You always wanted to reach just a little bit further. And it doesn't have to be, the thing is, it doesn't have to be seismic. It just has to happen. Something has to happen.
Well, tomorrow I'm going to get on the exercise bike, which Ben had provided, and he wants me to do 5 minutes, and then rest for 2, and then do another, I've been on the bike, and as I go along, you start hitting that barrier, wall, and then I just, that's it, I can get off now, you know what I mean? And I've got to go past that barrier.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
So I said to him, when I had a consultation, that I am going to do it, because I need to sort of challenge myself a bit more, I'll do my boxing in the morning, sitting down and do HIIT, and stuff like that, and then got another guy, Donovan, but he was saying is that, first of all, it was always over 50s I was aiming for, but he's just generic for everybody. Okay. And when I first done it, and it was stomach exercise, he really challenging you, I just thought to myself, I thought, oh God, this is, and then I was just telling, as it went along, I've done it, it's not as challenging, and I can now sort of, I'm starting in my head thinking, I'm going to start putting my weights on my arms. When I'm going to up my weights in my boxing, because I do it all sitting down, and coming into the new year, I've got a new perspective now.
It's good.
And man. I think the majority of the time that you've got more time really to sort of see what works for you and see what doesn't work for you. What you like and you don't like. And I'm going to go back and do my aqua aerobics as well once a month. Because I do enjoy that.
That's an important thing, Auntie. Is that I think as you go through this, it's clear to see it's like a fitness journey is your own, and I think that's a lot of people listening or watching this, is what you need to realise is it's your own. So you're always looking for, what's the perfect formula, what works, what's this, what's that, and there's very base principles, but once you've got those base principles in effect, you really freestyle from there, because it's all about how consistent you can stay with that. Your base principles are very different to mine, because you have to deal with certain things. So Ben is probably focusing more on movement quality with you, breathing, like the function of your lungs, your cardiovascular. Whereas for me right now, preparing for Kilimanjaro, I've got more, with my coach, I'm more power, strength, endurance, the ability to be as aerobically fit as possible for me, so that when I get hit by altitude, I'm not dying. Now, you mentioned New Year's 2024, and I think that's just such a lovely little segue into, I guess, my final question before my two surprise things I'm gonna get, because I haven't told you about these at all. But what's next for you? You know, for everyone.
I'm going to try. What I'm going to do is, like, you know, get up with the bike, and what me and Ben decided to do would like to do a bike ride from Brighton to from London to Brighton, and that's what I'd like to be as a middle part for me. You know, my long journey is going to end with me jumping out, try and jump out of a plane, because I'm trying to do that for vascular dementia. Just the journey of growing, getting fitter and fitter, and growing it with being me again, because I think I lost me a long time ago. Yeah,
that's a nice answer. And because I thought when you went into that answer, I thought you were going to answer very like, oh, well, I'm just going to get on the bike now. I was like, oh no, I mean, you know, like years, like a year or so ahead. Yeah. And normally this is where I'd say to people, okay, so where can people find you to stay updated with that? Me and Ben will be sharing content around that. So I actually want to do something very different for you, Auntie. And I said to you, before, didn't I? That people were inspired by your journey. Yeah. So what I want to do now is I actually want to read out a few people's comments about one of the videos that we shared a little while ago. Because I think if it serves anything here, it's a reminder that people can engage with fitness at any level. I think people, especially that I've spoke to before, have been like, but I need to kind of like train a little bit more before I even work with a coach, or I can't go to the gym just yet, I need to lose a little bit more of this. And it's like, well, no, the best time is now. And your actions don't have to look like mine. You're not at my level. We don't, again, like I've said to you before, we're not trying to solve the same problems. No. So something actually, let me just pull this up, because that is not the account that I wanted. Let's go. So I'm just going to give you a few comments that people have said around, you know, what I've shared from you, because there was a video that went a little bit viral. So someone said, as someone with fibromyalgia and an extra hip bone, I felt this. Rehabilitating is a long journey, but I know Auntie's got this. Sending big love. Yeah. People saying proud of her. Let's go, Queen. She's everyone's auntie now. Amazing that she made that change for herself. Don't be nervous, Auntie, you've got this. This is when we were going to go see Ben for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Keep pushing through those tired, and she swore, so I'm going to say crappy days. It will get better and it will get easier. So there was over 86 comments of people, you know, really saying, look, wishing the best, wishing all the best in her journey, just take it one day at a time, steady loss will stay off. 2019, I was 113 kg, now I'm 79, she can do it. So there's so many people that have been, you know, inspired and want to show their support. Yeah, it's amazing. It's really, really good stuff. So well done for that, because, you know, if you can do it, it's a reminder to people who do have the physical capabilities, but they're not here, that they can do it. And not to take for granted what they have, to start working on it now.
And I think a lot of people got to realise that, you know, if they're looking back on how they were before, you know, they've got to go through that process to realise that they're never going to be that person. Yeah. You know, but you can still be fitter.
For sure.
And have your best life now, you know.
For sure. So before we end this, there's one more thing that I like to do with everyone, and that's actually to ask a random question. So I'm going to go to my question generator, and I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to show you this, so you can have a little think first. It's the white writing.
I haven't got my glasses.
Alright, well that doesn't matter, I'll just ask it. So if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Any superpower?
Yeah.
I would really like everybody who wants to achieve a goal to be able to achieve it.
That's what you'd like to do?
Yeah.
So you could fly anywhere, teleport anywhere, go visit all over the world. You'd like to have a very altruistic goal.
Yeah, I just think that everybody should be able to have the power to change their life. Yeah. You know to me, because I think everybody can if they put their mind to it. You know what I mean. And also, £1 million in bank, please.
No, that's a nice one. That's a nice one to be able to inspire people, because I feel like there's so much untapped potential just because, again, mindset, people don't believe that they can achieve or don't believe in themselves. You have to back yourself. You always have to back yourself.
And I think if you failed in the past, that just adds to your fear, to be honest with you, you know. And I think, you know, because I have sort of lost, during that period looking after grandma, you know, and like being her carer, you know, I've tried to lose weight and I've lost a bit. And of course, she was priority, and then you go back into your old habits. And I think that, you know, having that realisation that, you know, just keep inspiring yourself, keep pushing yourself, keep moving forward.
Because I once read a book, and it was about, I don't know if he was mining for steel or mining for gold or diamonds or whatever, but people have probably heard this. And this person was mining, and they were seeing was dirt, and that's all losses. And so then someone was like, look, I'll buy the rights off you for this piece of land, and I'll continue mining. And because they hadn't received anything, delayed gratification, they were like, yeah, cool, sold it. This person dug 10 meters deeper and hit the diamonds, hit the gold, and it's that, you know, sometimes all of your losses, you're one push away from achieving what you want to do. And I really believe that, you know, even despite the way that I envision everything is, you know, you're standing and there's various tides hitting you. And sometimes, I said this to someone, sometimes being able to maintain the same position that you stood in, even though everything is pushing against you, everything's trying to push you back, is a success. And once that tide calms down, you take 3 more steps forwards. A high tide comes in, but you don't move and you stay put.
Do you drown?
Huh? Well, you could do. You could do. But you're only going to drown in success, so then you push forwards, you go above that, and you go above that, and these are the temporary losses, these are the temporary obstacles that you face, but you overcome them, and eventually there will be a success. So I'm gonna wrap that up, and I think we're going to ask the viewers, if you could have a superpower, what would it be and why? That's something to think about. But I've been Naeem, and this has been
Auntie.
So thank you very much for tuning in. Take care, people. Oh, well done.